Bata bata, bata bata, bata, box.
Turn it up. I told you now. Please.
You are worse than me.
Another year is ending. Shey you dey whine me.
Hello. Welcome to the Battlebox podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Really appreciate you following us and just rocking with us. So today I'm going to be talking about my experience in an Uber ride here in Lagos. So some of you might know I'm actually visiting Nigeria here for a family wedding, as I do sometimes, especially in the summer. Lots of weddings going around. So Uber is something that has been in Nigeria for some time now. And there's also a few of them. There's Bolt, there's Lyft, and a few smaller other ones. And when you call for rides like this, there are two ways to pay. You can pay with cash or you can pay with your card, your bank card, GT Bank, Zenith Bank, UBA, just pretty much Access Bank, any kind of bank you have. You can set it up so that payment comes out of the card, so you don't have to worry about carrying cash. So one thing I notice is every time I ride, a lot of drivers always want cash, because according to them, if you use the app, they get paid in about 3 days, sometimes 5 days. It has to go through the bank, and most would rather get paid now than paying later. So tip number one right off the gate is always have cash with you, because it's helpful to have cash, so you can just kind of pay them right away. If you have the bank, you can also do that, but they always want to cancel and say, well, can we just go offline? And in most cases, Uber is where they get the customers. I want to say probably 75 to 80% of the time. After they get the customer, they will ask to cancel the ride. Very, very unsafe. If you know the place, if it's daylight, you can certainly do that. But I wouldn't recommend that. But anyway, to my story today, I'm driving. I'm catching an Uber from Lagos. So my story today is just me catching an Uber, and I want to share with you some experiences that happened on the ride. So one thing that's very common in Lagos is a lot of safety checkpoints. If you know Lagos very well, they have safety checkpoints, even in Abuja too, to be quite honest. So I'm riding, I'm on my phone, and we get to safety checkpoints. And as we go through the safety checkpoints, the driver is like, hey, you can't be on your phone because you're going to a safety checkpoint. So another lesson or tip for you guys is whenever you're riding an Uber or Lyft or rideshare, be very, very careful of the surroundings. Like, almost watch the area. Don't get too comfortable so you're on the phone a lot or more than you need to be. So I was on the phone riding, and the driver passed through a safety security police checkpoint. I wasn't paying attention to that because I was on the phone. And I knew where I was headed. I knew we were not even close where we were going. So before I know it, the guys pulled over, and the police is like, "Oh, God, calm down. Calm down. What's happened? You need to calm down because you're on your phone." Why? Because this is a safety checkpoint. You are not supposed to be on your phone when you see a security checkpoint, because you are revealing our position to the enemy. And I was like, which enemy do you have? You are just a bunch of Nigerian police officers here asking for bribe and needing money for no valid reason, in my opinion. Oh no, don't talk like that. As far as we are concerned, you can be revealing our position to the enemy, and the enemy can attack us from you, or it can be taking a video or recording something. And so I was like, okay, I guess that makes sense. But I didn't see any sign. I didn't pay attention. Oh, guy, you're feeling 50,000 naira. You must pay 50,000 naira here before you go. What? 50,000 for what? For being on my phone through a illegal safety checkpoint, security safety checkpoint. Anyway, get out of the car, start talking to the guys. But then I realized, okay, I have a flight to catch. Again, I had to fly to Abuja, so I have a flight to catch. We're going to the airport here. Time is of essence. They know that. They've seen me. They've sized me up. They just wanted to waste my time and make me miss my flight. Oh God, I can't pay 50k. Why would I pay 50k for just being on the phone? For those who don't know, 50k as the time of this recording is about $1 now is 1500. Like, you have to pay $30 because you're on the phone. $30 for just bribe. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't have $30. Then they said, okay, they gave me a discount. They dropped it down to 25k. I don't have 25k. So I go up to the driver, I'm like, hey, do you have 2,000 naira there? The driver says, sure. Driver borrows me 2,000 so I can transfer to him later. or give him the money later. I was just in a stressful position. So I go back to the police checkpoint. Okay, please help me manage it. They're like, nope, that's too small. They told me to count how many guys they were. There were 8 of them, 8 police guys. They're like, all of us, how you give all of us 8K? How you give all of us 2K? How will you give 8 men 2,000 naira? That's an insult. I can do better than that. So at this point, I was actually getting agitated. Like, you guys, you're wasting my time. You are not asking for my insurance. You're not asking for the Uber driver's insurance. You're not asking for his registration. You're not asking for his driver's license. You're not asking for anything. Just ways to make money and stop people and collect money from them. So the driver now came down from the car, the Uber guy, and he was trying to talk to them and just... Anyway, after like 20 minutes, they agreed to collect 2,000 naira, which, again, if I wasn't catching the flight, you should not be bribing or giving anybody money. There's no need to do that. They'll just keep you longer and waste your time, but at the end of the day, they'll let you go. These are just a bunch of guys looking for bribes, in my opinion. So yes, should I have paid them? Probably no, but I had a flight to catch, which I was going to miss if I wanted to spend my time there. So that's one thing you also know about visiting Nigeria. There are just people out there to waste your time. Always plan for the unexpected. Plan for stuff to go wrong, sadly. So they accepted 2,000 from me. I get back in the car. Now, I was on a phone call before I got pulled over. My phone was on the car seat, where I just left it because they told me to come out and keep the phone in the car seat. Keep the phone in the car seat. This was just before the airport, a minute or two before the airport. I get back in the car. I was a bit fluttered and just kind of agitated. Me and the driver were like, now what for this Nigeria? People are just looking for money. Everybody can get money. This is ridiculous. This makes no sense. Quickly, we get to the airport terminal, my destination. I get out of the car, and as soon as I get out of the car, the driver takes off. I'm like, snap, my phone driver seat. But I have a luggage with me and a backpack. So I'm like, I see the driver pulling off, but my phone was not on me. And I realized that, like, quickly that, wow, my phone driver's, it's in the driver, it's in the car. So first thing I do was okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and find my phone, because with finding your phone, you can, it's an iPhone, by the way, iPhone 12 Pro. I can find the phone with the Find My app, because I have another iPhone with me. So another lesson also is when you're driving an Uber, like, if it's possible to just have one phone in your hand, always have that one phone. So in this case, I had 2 phones with me. I was making one call, then I was checking my other phone. So I dropped the one I was on the call with. The other phone was with me, and so in my mind, I'm like, I have my phone with me. Well, it wasn't the second phone, I just had one. So I left the second phone in the car. So if possible, don't even be on your phone at all if you're driving an Uber. If you're riding an Uber, don't be on the phone at all. And if you need to be on the phone, always have one phone with you and just like clench it to your hand. Like, just make sure that you don't drop it, and just be conscious 24/7 every time about this phone that you have in your hand. So I get off the car, driver is pulling off. Oh snap, my phone's in the car. Then I try to Find My. There's an app called Find My for you Apple users, iOS. So I pull up my Find My. I try to find the phone, but this phone is roaming internationally because it has like a foreign line in it. That's the phone with the foreign line. So the internet is very spotty. Has always been anyway. I knew that going in. The phone I have with me, for which I'm using to Find My, that's the one with the local line. So there was internet there, there was data there. So what I always did was to hotspot the foreign line. If there's no data wherever I'm at, I just hotspot it. And as a matter of fact, later on, I just always continue to hotspot it because I realized the signal is not very good. The coverage is not good. This is an AT&T phone, by the way. T-Mobile is better for coverage in Nigeria. T-Mobile and I've had Verizon, but AT&T not so much. Just my experience, it wasn't good. So this is an AT&T phone that's missing. So I find my for the phone. I can't find the phone. Like, it's still in the same spot. It hasn't really moved because I was hotspotting it when I came down from the car. This would go on to last another like 8 hours. It didn't move. So that's out the window. I can't find my phone because the phone is not online. So freaking out, I'm like, okay, I need to install the Uber app. Remember, the phone that I dropped in the car had the Uber app, had the guy's phone number, had everything about the guy, the Uber guy on there, but the phone is in the car and the guy's driven off with it. So I'm calling with this Nigeria line. I have data on there. I say, well, let me install Uber, a new Uber instance on my MTN phone. So I go online, App Store, install Uber, get the Uber on my phone. Then I try to log in to Uber because I know if I can log in, I can view my activity and I can see my last ride and I can see the guy's name, his contact information, blah, blah, blah. Then Uber locked up on me saying that I already have Uber login. I already have Uber up with that user ID and password. So I was not able to get into Uber, long story short, because the phone in the car already had my Uber up and running. So for security reasons, Uber locked me out. So I go to the Uber website and there's a form you can fill out. Fill out the form. When you fill out the form, Uber will get back to you. I fill out the form and I'm still waiting for Uber to get to me, by the way, as the time of this recording. I'll give you guys an update probably in the next episode if I ever find the phone back. Then the last thing I did was I used Facebook. I remember the guy's name from memory. I punched his name in Facebook. There's like obviously 20 people with that name. But I go through all the 20 and I find him because I know what he looks like. I just saw him 30 minutes ago. I recognize his face. So then I tried calling the guy on Facebook. But most people are not always online on Facebook Messenger. So I called the guy on Facebook. He didn't answer twice. I messaged him, he didn't answer. Then I deployed my fleet of friends. So I called like 3 or 4, 5 friends. And one of them had told me I just need to mark the phone as lost, which I did. I went into my MTN phone in hand. I marked it as lost, but I haven't really wiped the data yet because I locked it down, marked it as lost. And I'm hoping that this guy, he finds the phone. I'm hoping that he returns the phone. Under the iOS, there's a way you can put your phone number on your name, like in a little message, but the guy needs to come online. The phone needs to be on the internet. It needs to be connected before it can go into lost mode. So as of this time, the phone is not really yet connected. I've been checking. It's been over 24 hours. Still can't find the phone. This phone is really, really important. Like it has a lot of stuff in it. Personal information, personal details. Just too much information to be out there. So another friend of mine said I should try and call the phone, which I called the phone. But in most cases, my phone is always on Do Not Disturb. So if you call the phone, you just get a voicemail. So another trick or tip, I guess, is when you are traveling to Nigeria, always have your phone on ring in case you lose it, so that it will always ring out. Then also, if you can, get the local internet or just have good, reliable data plan on it so that you can at least locate the phone. So because the phone had really bad AT&T coverage, I hate to say that, but because the phone had the bad AT&T coverage in Nigeria for that part of the airport that I was, the phone didn't move, so I couldn't find the location. But if I had switched to a local line with a good MTN or AT&T or Etisalat or Globacom or whatever, if I'd had that good coverage, I'll be able to follow the phone and just move with it. But again, I have a flight to catch, which I wasn't really worried about at this point. Then some of my friends were like, well, give us his number, we're going to blow him up, we're going to call him, at least there'll be a phone there. So, and I'm also thinking the guy may not even know that the phone is there, although I doubt it because we're talking. I mean, this incident happened to us together. He and I had a conversation. Now keep in mind, when you are carrying Uber to the airport, they have to pay to get into the airport, they have to pay to park, they have to pay to get out. So the Uber might quote you like 12,000 naira. I use the bank card, as I always do. And the guy wanted to go offline. Offline means he'll cancel the ride and just charge you like a cab, which is really, really bad. So don't do that. One thing that worked for me is that I didn't do that this case. I used the Uber app throughout. So Uber has a record of that trip being completed. If I had gone offline, the trip would have been incompleted. So the guy wanted me to go offline. I insisted on staying online. And they said, well, Organa card, they'll pay me with card. If they pay me with card, that means I don't go fit, get my money till 3 days. I said, well, I don't care. That's not my business. And usually when you go offline, they'll charge you more too, because Uber rates are fair. So that's where this all started, because I was insisting on staying online. The guy now said, okay, he has to pay for the toll to get to the airport. So I need to give him extra to pay for the toll. I said, no problem, I'll give you 1,000 more, which is generous. I think it's like 300 naira to get into the airport. So we said round trip, that's 600. But give me 1,000 anyway, cash. Then again, I said, as I was getting off the car, it was now like, well, all the stress has been through today, that money is not enough. I should try and add more to it. I said, no, I'm giving you 1,000 more. So we had a bit of a maybe disagreement because I paid him the Uber rates because that went through my card. So that's paid off. Then he asked for more tip. I gave him 1,000 naira tip, right? Then he also asked for more. He wanted like more toll. I was like, no, like I'm paying you too much. You're ridiculous. So while we were pulling up, there's also these airport people saying no parking, drop off, hurry up. So out of just the haste and my flight moving and me, this guy haggling me for more money. So just the combination, also just being pestered by the stupid policemen at the security checkpoint. All those culminated in me like not picking up that phone from that seat in the back when I got out. Plus, I also had another phone with me. So this whole experience just made everything compounded. And I swear, as soon as I got out of the car, I'm like, my phone on that seat. Because I'm really, really good at that. Like, you just have to be traveling, especially in Lagos. So yes, my phone's gone. And I see the guy. I'm like, oops, that guy has my phone. I need to get the phone. But then I have my luggage with me. I have my backpack. I'm looking, no problem. Just find my goal was going to find quickly went to find couldn't find the phone. So I think, this phone, I'm told, is worth about 500,000 naira. It's the iPhone 12 Pro. I don't know how much it's worth. I haven't looked it up, but I've been told it's worth about half a million naira. So it's the newest one. It's got, I think, 128 gigabytes, a lot of storage. And most Uber drivers, they make probably 200 to 300K, I'm told, in a month, if they're even lucky. So imagine just having somebody leave their phone. And that's not the way these guys make money, I'm told. People forgetting their stuff. They don't give it back. They don't return it. But I'm still hopeful that I can get it back. So I've not even like wiped the phone or erased all the data because there's just so much data on there. So why am I sharing this experience with you guys? I think for a couple of reasons. Number one, don't be me. Don't be me in so many ways. Don't try to be on your phone if you're going through a security checkpoint. Don't try to be on your phone if you haven't ridden an Uber at all. Like, just be situational aware. And if you can't, don't even ride an Uber. Don't ride an Uber. I had a friend that could have picked me up. And one of my cousins also wanted to pick me up to the airport. But just, I don't like stressing people. The Ubers, they're kind of cheap. Yeah. So don't be me, because if that was my cousin's car, we won't be having this conversation. If that was my friend's car, we won't be having these conversations. So if you can avoid riding an Uber, avoid it, step one. Step two, if you do end up in an Uber, always use the app, like from start to finish. Do not go out of the app. Always stay in the app. Step three, do not be on your phone for too long. I know this is a tough one because if your ride is long, 45 minutes, you're used to being on your phone. We all are. We're all addicted to our phones. So there's no way you won't be on the phone. But if you can, just be aware of the situation. If I was aware that there was a security checkpoint, I probably might still be on the phone because I didn't think it's a big deal. But I'll be more conscious. I would just try and, maybe stop talking or don't be on the phone for too long. Then when they told us to pull over, I didn't even know. I was like, what's going on? I didn't think it was a thing. So just try and be very, very cautious of that. Then if you can, have a phone that you use throughout your stay. Don't have multiple phones. Again, I know some of you might be like, that's not practical, that's not important, blah 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 blah. No, but I'm just saying, sometimes if you are traveling a lot, like within the country, Nigeria particularly, if you just had one phone, you're fine. You don't need multiple phones. I mean, just have one phone, and that phone should have data on it. It's also important, so in case you lose, you can find it. You can always track it. Try and know the car. So I know the car I was in. It was a Toyota. I know the brand, the model. I know the guy's name. I always do. I look at his name. I even know the license plates. If you show me the plate, I remember. I know like the first 3 numbers of it. So I know all these things. So this really helped me in the beginning when I was filing a complaint on the Uber website. I know what. So just try and know the driver, know the car, confirm the driver's name. I always do, so I know the guy's name. And then don't try and sit in the front. That's one I always do. Sit in the back, because in the back you want to stay away from the guy, so you're not, you have a special social distancing. And secondly, you can exit. It's easier to have access to both exits. Tell someone you're in an Uber if you're in an unfamiliar place. If it's someone you don't know, tell someone you are in an Uber and just say, hey, I'm catching an Uber. And you never know what's going to happen. You just never do. Uber is actually one of those things that are very, very weird. So definitely verify your ride. Definitely be aware of your surrounding. Don't share personal information. The other thing about being on a call is a lot of those drivers, they listen to your conversations and they know who you are. They size you up. They know what you're about. Especially if you're having personal information about your finances, they are sharing some information with other people, or where you are from. You just landed from the US, for example, in an Uber, and you are talking about, I just came, I went to Germany, from Germany I went to Frankfurt, from Frankfurt I went to Addis Ababa. You are just throwing all these big names. That will really give them an idea that they've caught a big fish. So it's always a good idea to even not be on the phone at all for that reason. And if you have to be on the phone, make it very brief, make it short. Be aware of the situation and the environment. Now, Uber has a feature that can allow you to call the driver within the app. Later on, I was able to get in, after I think 24 hours, I was able to install Uber into my phone, and I got access to the app into the new MTN phone. And then what I did was I tried to call the guy. I'm like, hey, Oga, you have my phone. Even though I notified Uber probably notified the guy. But again, this is a guy who makes 2300K a month. He's getting a phone of 500K. Why would he give it up? So I tried to call the guy, and Uber will hide my number, hide his number, so that we can both talk. The thing was just ringing. The guy was not answering the phone. It was ringing. It didn't. So I think they called 2 or 3 times. After that, they stopped calling. So if you try to call again, they'll just tell you to fill a form. You fill the form, they now say, okay, we'll get back to you. So still kind of playing this waiting game here in Lagos, but it just leaves a bitter taste about the Nigerian police, and I think that's a root cause. If they had not stopped me there, I won't be here. So just be careful when you're out there. Don't go through a security checkpoint with your phone. If you're riding in any car, be always aware. There are police everywhere doing nothing, in my opinion. Because the criminals come, they'll run away. What they are doing is, if you have a police uniform, you almost have a license to collect bribes, kind of. And the day you are hungry, just put some tires on the road and start stopping people. Anyhow, you get money. Like me, they got 2K from me, regrettably, looking back. So thank you so much for listening. If you have any experience with Uber or experience with Nigerian police, feel free to leave that in the comments below if you're watching on YouTube. And if you wanted to kind of contribute or share your thoughts, you're welcome to send us an email at info@batterbox.com, or you can also follow us on our social media handles at Batterbox Podcast. Thank you so much, and wish me luck. I'll be back to update you guys on how this goes. Welcome to Nigeria. I guess that's my welcome to Nigeria story. Catch you guys later. Thanks and bye.
Bata, 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 box.